Alright, we are back with another video, and I know it's actually been like a month since my last video, but that's not because I wasn't trying to be consistent or anything like that. We are still trying to be consistent all year round. I was just on holiday. I was enjoying my time, some time off, I was on holiday. And during my absence from YouTube and making videos, a lot has happened with BLUELOCK. We had the Burū agenda taking a huge hit, with Burū going down to 4th place and Shido getting 160 million. We also had the death of the Nagi agenda, where Nagi has been eliminated from the BLUELOCK program, or at least from playing in the Under-20s World Cup. Bachida got 120 mil, he scored 2 goals and got an assist in his final game. Chiggity got 90 million. A lot of chaos has happened, but the Neo-EGOIST League, all the games are finally over. But enough of that. Today we are going to be ranking all of the Neo-EGOIST League goals that we saw on screen from worst to best. Now obviously in the far future, when episode Nagi catches up, we're probably going to see more goals that we missed, but for now, I'm going to go over everything we have in the Neo-EGOIST League. And also, just to preface, this is just my own arbitrary ranking on the goals I like the most and the goals I like the least. If you think this goal is better or that goal is better, respectfully, go make your list, because this is mine. In fact, this is the correct list. This is mine and Kaneshiro's list. And of course, there will be agendas in here. You know who I am, you know what you're coming here for. For the total goals in the Neo-EGOIST League that we actually got to see on panel, there were 31 goals, and this is what we are going to be ranking. Starting with the worst goal that we saw in the Neo-EGOIST League, that is in 31st place. I am going with Shido's header against FC Barca. It was a scrappy header, right? We didn't see any of the build up before it. We just see a scrappy header from like a couple of meters out on 2 Barca defenders. There isn't too much to say about that goal. It was whatever. He scored, I guess. In 30th place, we have pretty much an identical goal, and it is Sendo's header from a few meters out against Manshine. Now, the only reason I even put this one above Shido's header was because it looks like maybe it was from like a meter or 2 further out than Shido's, but they're both scrappy headers against 2 defenders. In 29th place, I don't even know if this would be considered like a hot take, but I'm going with Kunigami's hyena goal in the Manshine game, because being quite frank, I don't like this goal, right? I remember the commentator said some shit like this was a super goal or whatever, and he jumped really high and whatever. Like, the goal just doesn't impress me. He was like 2 meters out. Hyena goal, he stole it from Isagi. I'm not a fan, bro, so I have this in 29th, but it is better than Sendo's and Shido's for sure. In 28th, I think this is going to be another one of the hot takes. I'm going with Bachida's B shot that he scored against BM in the first game of the Neo-EGOIST League, because like, this goal wasn't anything crazy to me at all. He was super close range, the shot wasn't anything crazy. Who the fuck even is the goalkeeper? Like, and the way I see people talk about this online, I feel like you guys are seeing something that I'm not seeing, and I really want to see it. But to me, this goal is mid as fuck. It's so mid, and that's why it's going 28th. Now, I know I'm ranking them from 31 to 1, but think of what we've had so far as 1 tier, and now we're going to go up a tier. And to start with, in 27th place, I have got Isagi's lefty direct shot. This is another goal that people really love. I don't. Like, Isagi's direct shots have never really excited me that much anyway. So like, it being with his left was like, oh, like that's a surprise, but like, let's call a spade a spade. It's a direct shot, right? Same shit as like most of the other ones. Now, I will give this goal credit because I am including like build up in these rankings. When he stole the ball from Burū after blocking Lorenzo's pass, went through the field linking up with Corona, he faked out Yukimiya, the build up was there. It's just that the goal isn't anything crazy, and the art is always going to be top tier in BLUELOCK, so like, I don't even think it's worth mentioning that unless it's really like exceptional. It's a decent goal to me, but like nothing special, and that's why I have it in 27th. In 26th place, I am going with Bachida's game-winning goal against Manshine. And if I'm being completely honest, it's not that different from B-Shot, but like, I feel like what gives it the edge is the build-up that we get with this goal, because he stopped Nagi and Reo. He broke up that chemistry and exposed Nagi for being a fraud. He then ran through the team, linked up with the players, and then scored the final goal. So I think it gets a bit more value than B-Shot, but like nothing too much. In 25th place, I've got Shigiri's goal that he scored against FC Barca. It's pretty much the same as all the goals that Shigiri scores, but this one was a bit less impressive because he didn't really dribble past anyone. He got past the ball, he slapped it top right, it had great curve. It's a good goal. Like, I think it's a good goal, but like nothing crazy for what we have on the list and from what we've seen from Shigiri in general. But I do think it's better than both of the Barca goals on here so far. In 24th place, I'm going to be going with Shido's volley that he scored against FC Barca off the pass from Charles. Once again, this is one of those goals where I don't have too much to say about it, but he was at an impossible stance. He twisted his body and hit that shit with his left foot. That shit was, yo. I always respect most of Shido's goals because of how acrobatic he is. If there's one thing I'm going to give to him as someone that sometimes slanders him, he is very flashy. The only thing I do wish that we got to see for this goal was where Shido was located in the pitch. Like, was he in the box? Was he on the edge of the box? Was he far out? I feel like that would make me feel it's more impressive or less impressive because I just don't know where he's shooting from in that panel. In 23rd place, I have Kunigami's left-footed shot that he scored against FC Barca. It was like a standard goal. I think it was a good goal, but I also like that it was a really cool callback to Kunigami back in the first selection when he scored with his left foot. I really enjoyed that because I miss Hiro Kunigami and I like Hiro Kunigami way more than this fucking emo that we have been stuck with. He had the defender on him, didn't matter, overpowered him and struck that bitch in the top corner. Obviously, we're not going to contribute this to Kunigami, but it was really cool that in this sequence leading up to the goal, it was the first time that we saw Isagi outplay Kaiser. And in 22nd place, I have Yukimiya's sword screw shot that he scored as a game winner against Manshine. To me, this goal is so overrated and I'm not a crazy big fan of it. I understand how crazy in concept the shot is, but it just doesn't look that good. Like, it really doesn't look that good when seeing it on panel. Like, it doesn't look like anything impressive, even though I know in like reality, this is a crazy shot and borderline impossible. It's just Yukimiya's shots, they're not aesthetically pleasing. And because of my rankings, he's not going to be that high. But just like the Kunigami goal, in the sequence leading up to the goal, it was once again cool to see Isagi get one over on Kaiser, grab him by the shirt and say some shit like, how does it feel to be the clown of my story? He was talking saucy. I'm not going to lie, that might add a little bit of aura to the goal. Only a little though. Like I said previously, think of some of these in tiers. That was the end of that current tier and we are going to be moving on to the next one. In the 21st position, I will be going with the goal that Noah scored in the FC Barca match. I'm not gonna lie, I really like this goal. He was able to completely get past Levinho, then fake out two defenders, and when Levinho came back, he's damn near fucking climbing all over this nigga's back, and then smashes that into the top corner. This goal was impressive to me, man. It's kind of like a lesser version of Kaiser's bicycle kick. Not gonna lie, thinking about it, maybe I put this goal a little bit too low. I may bump it up a few positions, but like, we're here now, so we just have to live with it. In 20th place, I have Rin's curve shot that he scored against Ubers. Now, we didn't get to see anything else from this game other than that goal, but that goal was kind of crazy because look at the way the players are positioned and look at the curve on that shot. I don't think there's too many shots we've seen in this story that has more curve than that. And he was also pretty far out. He's able to shoot completely around Ardu and put it in the top corner where the keeper was never saving it. And there's not much else for me to say about this goal because we literally don't see anything else. But I have this ranking here. And the next two goals, I have them all pretty much the same anyway. In 19th, I have the goal that Rin scored against Manshine to seal his hat trick. This goal wasn't too different to the ones we've seen Rin score already, but the build-up really makes it. He's completely destroying Nagi, and Nagi's talking about all of Rin's stats and how they're all the way past maximum. And we see this like aura coming out of like Rin's mouth and eyes, like it's like a mini destroyer mode. That shit was really cool. And then he smashes it into the top left corner to seal his hat trick. The only hat trick in the Neo Egoist League other than Burū. And in 18th, like I said, these are all pretty much similar goals. We have the goal that Rin scored against FC Barca. Crazy curve on it, put it in the top left, curving it around players. I low-key might swap some of these ring goals around, but I think they're all the same. I think they're 20th, 19th, and 18th. And maybe it's just the paneling, but this goal seems to be from way further out than the others. In 17th place, I have got my king, Burū! His first goal in the Ubers versus BM game, his stealth kill shot. Now, this goal was really cool to me. We got to see the tactics of Ubers where they were completely covering Gagamaru's sight. They were passing it quickly, they were blocking his vision. He couldn't see who the fuck had the ball. And then within the chaos, Burū strikes. It's the introduction to Predator Eye, and Gagamaru is unable to move. And there's crazy curve on the shot. I don't think we've ever seen any other goal from Burū that has that much curve on it. In 16th place, I have Shido's dragon header that he scored off of the pass from Charles. This goal was cool because we got to see the reflex x reflex chemical reaction, which we have only seen a few times in the series. And this game was in utter chaos before this moment. Charles loops the ball over and nobody knows where it's going or why it's going there. And then we get the panel of Shido running. He's not even looking at the ball. He turns back, he's like, oh shit! The ball's actually here! And then he dives for the header with the Robin Van Persie goal. And that shit was fire, man. I can't even hate. In 15th, I have the chameleon goal that Rayo scored against FC Barcha, where he copies Otoya, he beats him off the ball, and then scores a scissor kick. And I fucking love scissor kicks. So he hit that bitch straight into the top corner, unsavable. The paneling was great, and it was great with the build-up as well. With Rayo finding a new heat, he's taking charge, Nagi's being left behind, and then he pulls that out after seeing what Otoya did. That shit was fire to me, bro. Especially with Chris Prince screaming out, "You score, Rayo! I want to see your future!" Yo, that shit was heat. In 13th place, I have the original version of the goal, it coming from Otoya in the Manshine vs Barcha game. Now, I'm gonna be honest, the only reason why I'm putting Otoya's above Rayo's is because he did that shit on Chris Prince. He beat Chris Prince off the ball. He was in his blind spot. Had Chris Prince looking around. Where you looking, bro? And then does the scissor kick and smashes that in the back of the net. That's literally the only reason why I have it above Rayo's version, because it was on a better player. And now, once again, think of that as the end of a tier as we move on to the next one. In 13th, I have got Isagi's Demon King goal, his game-winning goal in the PXG versus BM game. Now, I know what I said about Isagi's direct shots, but this shit was different, okay? This shit was way different. Everything about this was just like magnificent. The art, top tier. The art was fucking crazy. And then the build up behind it with Ness finally awakening, Isagi running into space, Ness thinking he was fucking Kaiser, and then the puzzle pieces strip away and it's him. Kaiser turns around and screams Ness's name, and then he scores that goal, the top tier art, on having Rin call him the Demon King. And to top it all off, that celebration was fire. This goal was heat. Now, it would be a lot higher if it wasn't just a regular direct shot, but the fact that it's a regular direct shot and it's this high, it just talks to how good the build-up was, the art was, the moment was, everything. And I'm low-key kind of annoyed because the way I was just talking about it and gassing it up, it like makes me regret putting it at 13th now, because in 12th place, I have Isagi's game-winning goal against Ubers, the reflex chemical reaction with Hiyori. And like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm taking the Demon King over it, but like, we're here. This was once again a top tier goal, had great build up. It's the first time we had properly seen reflex x reflex and had it explained to us, and like we see it in full effect. I'm not really gonna count the Saitoshi and Shido shit in the under 20s game, but how he beat Aryu off the ball, Hiyori beat Lorenzo, passes that shit as Burū was coming in, the art was top tier. Game winner, Isagi's first game win of the league, the celebration, this shit was heat, bro. Once again, it was just Isagi's standard like direct shot, but I think all the extra context around it can allow it to be this high. In 11th place, I have got Kaiser Impact against FC Barcha. The introduction to the Kaiser Impact. We had never seen this shit before, and he pulled this out. Kaiser darting around the field, beating 2 players off the ball, him being the perfect embodiment of Isagi's ideal playstyle. He receives the pass from Ness and he jumps up so he can take a touch, and before even landing, Isagi's like, yeah, now I just have to land and then take the shot. He's not landing! He swings his foot immediately while still in mid-air, shocking everybody. And I think the paneling for this goal was really clever, because as the ball zooms past the keeper, we see these, what I would say is like dirt marks, but it's skidding across his face. It literally looks like the ball has cut the goalkeeper's face because it was moving so fast. Obviously that's not what happened, but it gives off that effect and it's really cool. And then the execution celebration to top it all off, I'm not gonna lie, is that the best celebration in the Neo Egoist League? What do you guys think? I think that's bare minimum, like top 3, bare minimum, bare minimum. Now we are here at the top 10, but this isn't a separate tier, but we are at the top 10 goals in the Neo Egoist League. In 10th place, I have got Levinho's butterfly dance. This shit was crazy. Levinho and Noah were battling like they were 2 gods, and Isagi tried to get in the way, and he used that to his advantage. He rainbow flipped it past Isagi and left Isagi and Noah in the dust. Then went up against Birkenstock and Mensah and absolutely destroyed them, making them both fall. Then he jumps over the goalkeeper with the ball, turns around and back heels the goal while bowing. That shit was crazy. That's also most definitely top 3 celebrations in the Neo Egoist League. I need that, I need Kaiser's execution, and maybe like Isagi's Demon King. Maybe that. The dance of defeat. I remember when I first read this shit, I was like, yo, these masters are truly on like a different tier. He just embarrassed everybody, bro. Moving into the 9th position, I have the first goal that Bachida scored in the FC Barca vs Manshine game. And this is without a doubt the best goal that Bachida has scored in my opinion. I'm not gonna lie, this is it. I know he has that solo dribble in the first selection, I get it, but give me this, bro, I need it. Bachida gets the ball and he's going up against Agi and Nagi. He does a roulette and absolutely cooks them and transitions it into a lift. And then from that takes a touch, says I'm a god, and smashes that shit into the top corner while in midair. I seen that shit, I couldn't believe Bachida scored that. I was like, he's got that kind of shooting in his bag? Where has that been ever? We ain't never seen Bachida shoot like that. And as someone who is well documented to not like Bachida, yo, all I could do was applaud. I was like, that was a fucking crazy goal, right? I didn't tell the people on TikTok, of course, like, gotta keep the agendas running, but like, in my head, right? In my head, I was like, no way did Bachida just do this. I thought the nigga couldn't shoot. In 8th place, I have Chigiri's solo goal that he scored against BM in the Manshine vs BM game. Chigiri gets the interception and immediately starts zooming off. We see the Panther in the back. He immediately gets past the old CDM for BM. Corona then tries to come in with a slide tackle and Chigiri just jumps over him with the ball. Isagi then tries to pull up and Chigiri absolutely cooks Isagi too. After cooking Isagi, Menta tried to pull up, but Chigiri saw him twitch for just an instant and accelerated immediately and left him in the dust. And Isagi tried to pull up to cover once again and got cooked again. Kunigami then tried to get involved and stop Chigiri, and I'm not gonna lie, Kunigami might have got done the worst. He got absolutely destroyed. Isagi tried to stick out a leg to help, but it was no use. Chigiri got to his favorite spot and he slapped that shit top corner. The first time we had seen his new golden formula, and that shit looked beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, this might be the goal with the most curve in the series. Have we seen any goal with more curve than this? I feel like this is like arguable, like maybe top 3. That shit was crazy. He dribbled past what, 6 people, 7 people, and then slaps it top right all on his own. Nobody passed to him, nobody helped him. He did that shit alone, a true solo goal. Moving on to the 7th position, I have the monster goal that Rin scored in the BM versus PXG match. Now this shit was absolutely insane. and I might say a bit too insane. Rin was locked in, tapped deep into his flow, and he was absolutely destroying BM. Nobody had an answer for him. He was literally dribbling past multiple players and had a chance to score but didn't because it wouldn't be good enough to surpass Sayatoshi. So he restarted the attack so that he could cook these bums again. He was literally scaring the people on the field. He cooks Isagi, nutmegs him, and then says, "You are a failure of a rival." He ends up forcibly bringing Charles along with him. He said, "Yo, come die with me." And Charles was like, "Shit, let's die together then." He ended up doing the Rabona cross into a position where both Rin and Shido could score. Now, this is where I say it was maybe a little bit too insane, because we had this sequence of Rin cooking them for like 3 chapters straight, to where you was kind of sitting here like, okay, when is he gonna score? Because we know he's gonna score. When is he gonna score? And for all this build up that you have given us, is this goal gonna match up to the level of hype it's currently being given? He ends up beating Shido to the ball. He goes for an even more difficult shot. Isagi pulls up and he's finally in the zone, and he does his crash mid-air free kick shot. And the goal is really good. The goal is really good and has really good build-up, but I think it has so much build-up that I don't know what I wanted, but I feel like that goal wasn't enough for me. For the 3.5 chapters of build-up we got for that goal, I wanted more. I'm gonna be honest, I wanted more. Now, I still think it's a good goal. I most definitely think it's a good goal, and the build-up for it was absolutely insane. I just think maybe we got a bit too much build up. Rin smashes that shit while crashing into Isagi. That shit curves around and over everybody, flying into the top right corner. Gagamaru had no chance because he thought Rin was going left the entire time, so he had already shifted his body weight to the wrong side. And Rin comes down bleeding from his nose saying, "Yo, this shit is fucking incredible." In 6th place, I've got the Kaiser impact that Kaiser scored in the Manshine match. This shit was crazy and has like, I want to say like in my top 3 when it comes to paneling for goals, because this shit was insane. It felt like a flip book. Kaiser is running without the ball. He then receives the pass from Ness, and there are 5 defenders in front of him plus the goalkeeper. And Chigiri's talking smug. He's like, "Yo, your short course is dead." But Kaiser activates Predator Eye and says, "Nice peephole," and he shoots in between all of them. And with each panel of this shot, we see it get closer and get past one of the defenders. With the last panel, it literally looks like the force of the ball is drawing the defender to it. His cheeks are getting pulled. Pause. Agi trying to run desperately to try and block the ball, but there's no use. Kaiser used Predator Eye to perfectly see the gap in where he could shoot, and he did not miss and slammed that shit into the back of the net. Now, think of that as the end of that tier as we move into the final 5 goals and the highest tier that we have. In 5th place, I have Isagi's 2-gun volley. When this shit hit the streets, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. This is not the Yoichi I know that be spamming the same direct shots. This can't be. Hiyori enters flow and he does a no-look pass in between 3 PXG defenders going directly towards Isagi. However, Isagi leaves it. He starts cooking the PXG defenders with his off-the-ball movements, and he predicted that Shido would end up pulling up. And here comes Kunigami with the header to assist him. And as Kunigami heads the ball down and Isagi is clear, here comes Rin to his left trying to stop him, and here comes Kaiser to his right saying, "Yo, I'm snatching this shit, this is mine." And not even Isagi could have foreseen this, so he had to make up a new invention on the fly. This guy fully powered his left foot, kicked that shit over the ball, and smacked it with his right, outdoing Kaiser and Rin. I was like, there's no way this is Isagi. Like, there's no way. The acrobatics needed for that goal is absolutely insane. The fucking panel with the 2 guns in the back was absolutely gas. And then we had Rin and Kaiser crashing out, screaming. This is most definitely my favorite Isagi goal in the entire story. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's not even close. This is like by leaps and bounds my favorite Isagi goal. In 4th place, I have the Kaiser Impact bicycle kick that he scored. This shit was insane, man. Lorenzo comes to try and mark Yukimiya, who Isagi was trying to pass to, and Kaiser was waiting for that exact moment, since Lorenzo had been locking him down since minute 1 of this match. He completely outwitted Isagi's thinking and everybody else's on the field. He goes to swing as if he's trying to shoot, but Sendo comes in, so he jumps over Sendo. As he's in midair after jumping over Sendo, Aiku pulls up to get in position to block the shot, and then Ryu pulls up on Kaiser to try and stop him and ends up fouling him. Ness is screaming out, "Yo, ref, that's a penalty!" But Kaiser isn't worried about any of that shit. While in mid-air, upside fucking down, he activates his predator eye. He's scanning, he sees where he needs to shoot, and he says, "Suck on this," and he hits a bicycle kick in between Aiku's legs and puts it past the goalkeeper while being fouled. Kaiser had to remind people that the only reason he was quiet is because Lorenzo was on him. The moment that Lorenzo was no longer on him, he scored like one of the craziest goals we've seen. Now, we got the top 3, and all of these are going to be controversial to any number of fans, but like, here we are, bro. In 3rd place, I have got Nagi's 5-shot revolver. Nagi gets the ball off of a pass from Ryo and Isagi runs over to cover him. Nagi goes as if he's gonna shoot, but he fucking fakes it and just flicks the ball up with the volley. But Isagi read that. He said, "Yo, I've seen this shit already in the 2nd selection. I knew you was gonna feint." So he goes to stop the 2nd shot. But that shit was a feint too. That boy had Isagi looking absolutely stupid. Then Kaiser tries to pull up and block the shot, and he fakes out Kaiser too. You can get it just like Isagi. Isagi then once again runs over to try and cover and block the shot, because this guy has fucking faked it 3 times at this point. But it's, yeah, bro, another fake. And then Nagi says, "Thanks, Isagi. I'm the world's best," and finally smashes that shit with his left foot, putting it past Gagamaru after absolutely clowning Isagi and Kaiser. First of all, you will never hit this shot in your life. I don't care how much you train. You will never hit this shot in your life. The only thing that holds this goal back for me personally is just that I wasn't that invested in Nagi as a character, and his conflict with Ryo, it wasn't anything crazy to me, so I wasn't as invested as a lot of Nagi stans are. So for them, the build up for this goal would hit a lot harder, as opposed to me, where it was cool, but like the next 2 goals are clear in that department when it comes to the build up. In 2nd place, I have Kaiser's Kaiser Magnus Impact. My favorite goal from Kaiser. I have it above the bicycle kick. I fucking love this goal, bro. The build up for this goal is special because if we're being honest, the build up for this goal is everything we've seen from Kaiser in the new EGOIST League. Because it's the culmination of all his shortcomings, his hubris and everything else, being too focused on Isagi, finally letting all of that go and awakening. And this point in the match was so intense too. He ignores the pass from Ness and the ball goes to Kyoryujin, and Isagi and Kaiser just activate. Kaiser runs around Kyoryujin. We see his predator eye straight blazing. Kaiser beats Nanase and Karasu off the ball. Isagi beats the other PXG defender off the ball. And this pass can either go to Kaiser or Isagi. This is quite literally the borderline. Kyoryujin passes it and he chooses Kaiser. There's loads of backspin on the ball and that shit lines up perfectly to the Kaiser Magnus Impact that he had been practicing in training. We know that Kaiser has the vines as his aura and the vines grab the luck piece. Kaiser has 4 people on him in this moment. He's got Nanase, Karasu, Charles, and Rin all trying to stop him from taking this shot, but he's too locked in. With some of the most beautiful panels we have seen in the story, he strikes the bull. We see his predator eye. That shit goes swirling around all the players trying to stop him. The bull is spinning in the air while we're flashing in and out of Kaiser's backstory. And then it finally aligns with Kid Kaiser saying, "I want to be loved," and he's reaching out. The bull smashes in the back of the net after a top tier shot, and the celebration is Kaiser finally grasping it. And he's flexing, he's showing off the blue rose. This is honestly in like my top 3 to top 5 most well-written goals in this entire story. And in terms of the spectacle, I've also got it in my top 2. This might be the shot with the most curve that we've seen in the story. Oh, it was crazy. The art was absolutely peak. And then we get the reactions with the commentators screaming super goal, and everybody is in a state of shock. I love this goal so much. I reread it over and over again. There's only one goal that I reread way more, and that's the number 1 on this list. At number 1, we have the gamble shot from my king. You knew it was going to be here. Don't even argue. You knew I was going to put it at number 1. With Burū continuously being stopped by Isagi throughout this game, the freedom that Ubers is giving him is not good enough. He wants to plunge himself into despair, and he finally quits. He says, "Snuffy, I'm done. I'm submitting my resignation due to unfair labor practices." Isagi thought Burū's ego was dead, but it was burning brighter than ever. He runs and he rainbow flicks the ball over Ness. And Burū completely usurps the team. This is no longer Snuffy's squad. This shit belongs to him. All these little demons, whatever the fuck they are, they're coming from that big lion in the back. The team is now moving solely for Burū's desire as opposed to Snuffy's old tactics. They're coming up with new ones on the fly so that they can solely support Burū. And Burū in this moment is carrying the weight of the themes of the story on his back, because Snuffy's systems is opposed to everything that Blue Lock represents in regards to ego. Where these players have had their ego suppressed, Burū is the representation of what the story is pushing. Ego triumphs all. Burū then chop dribbles past Birkenstock and gets in a position to shoot, and Isagi and Kaiser both pull up together. Isagi talking about some, "Yo Burū, you're the only person I can't stand to lose to." The build up for this goal is just like, it's just my favorite shit in this entire story. Blue Lock chapter 226, 227, 228. My 3 favorite chapters in this entire fucking story. Isagi thinks they've got Burū covered. If he shoots near, Kaiser's snatching that. If he shoots far, I'm snatching that. He thinks that they've got him covered, they're gonna crush Burū. But Burū, with his predator eye flaring, has other ideas. Snuffy's shouting at him saying, "Yo, you need some help? Pass the ball to an adult, bro, I can help you." But Burū completely rejects Snuffy with my favorite speech of the story. And I'ma read this shit out word for word. "If I want to live my own way, I'll just have to blaze the trail with my own strength. Even if I'm a brat, I'll become a king. I won't live for a future someone else has decided for me. And if the day comes where I can't become the #1 king in the world, I'd rather go out in a blaze of glory." With my favorite panel in the entire story, Burū blacked out, the Burū 13 shining, the bull on fire as he shoots, the shadows on Kaiser and Isagi's face, and he double nutmegs both of them. Burū was aiming for this the entire time with his predator eye, the moment their legs lined up perfectly. And he screams out at Snuffy, "Out of my way, my future is up there." And he fires up Snuffy. He lights up Snuffy's ego and gets Snuffy to block Noah, and the ball goes flying into the back of the net. And as we see the ball go flying to the back of the net, we see the lion, we see all the little monsters coming from Ubers, we get the celebration panel. I have this shit framed on my wall. I had this shit as my TikTok profile picture for a year and a half, and I wouldn't have changed it if I didn't lose my bet. This is my favorite goal in the Neo EGOIST League. This is my favorite goal in Blue Lock. This is my favorite sequence. This is my favorite everything in Blue Lock. You can say it's glazed. I do not care, bro. I will never stop gassing this. I'm gonna buy the Japanese volume so I can have this shit. I need this shit translated into English too. I will never stop going on about Gamble Shot. I don't care how many people say it's overrated. It's this, is that. I don't care. Gamble Shot's my top one. Do something about it. Do something to me. That is my list for the Neo EGOIST League goals ranked worst to best. Let me know your rankings. Which would you move about? Am I absolutely crazy agenda head just chatting nonsense? Or is there a little bit of validity to the shit I'm saying? Would you rank it in a different way? Because I'm including narrative and build up and all the others. How would you rank it? Let me know. And of course, if you like my videos, drop a sub. It makes me know that you want to see more. It keeps me motivated, and I will stay consistent with the uploads. But until then, it's your boy Crocodile. I'm out. Peace.